So today is the day that I go back to Hamilton Police Station. Now this is to file perjury charges. Now, I had a phone call with Inspector Jennings on the phone. She'd called me back. That was after the posting was seen. I handed in the documents. I'm going to show you a couple more documents in a moment. Now, today is the 6th of September, of October, sorry. And Inspector Jennings on the phone call yesterday said, no, I don't want you coming in filing perjury charges unless coming with a lawyer and if you've got some proof. And I must advise you on that. And I don't know if she meant that somehow making a claim of perjury incriminates me. But one of us has to be committing perjury. And here's the mechanics of law. They know, which is why their letter is leaked. The letter that I requested the 6 police officers who were present at 3 meetings where, and I will give the testimony of one of the perjurers, the circumstances in which they were at those meetings was with the door open where I was having a meeting with a parliamentary representative, parliamentary aide, and 2 police officers directly outside in earshot of the conversations. Now, we have that happen 3 times. These are the basis of the majority of the testimony of these people. They say they felt frightened. Worse when you, as the informed observer, anyone listening to this qualifies as informed observer. They were there after they said they wanted the police present. So ask yourself, how is it then that they say they felt fear and alarm a year later, but didn't express those fears or alarm at the time to the police officers they'd asked to be there? That is reasonable doubt. I don't need to tell you what you think of that. You know exactly what you think of that. And when you tie that into the years that I've been banging at the doors of them and their buddies, and they have talked and they've mentioned all MSPs who have approached, it was in the testimony, written testimony gathered by the police. They mentioned people, Mr McMahon, Motherwell MSP, other MSPs, SNP SNPs. They'd hold conversations with me. None of them came and filed any charges against me. None of them said they suffered fear and alarm, didn't like what I had to say. They are child abusers, that's my opinion. They abuse the human rights of over 50% of children in Scotland. The tapes that were provided of my voicemails, nothing illegal in them, and yet I was found guilty. But going back to the point, these police officers were asked to be there by these witnesses, and then they walked out of that meeting with me and said nothing to those police officers. And they said nothing to me. If someone had said to me, even as an elected representative, I'm suffering fear and alarm and the demeanour you are giving me, Mr McKerrow, I'd have stopped it. They'd bring those police in and say, start taking notes. Or I would have left and come back with my own witness. Because this is what they say they have convicted me on, is their testimony. What they apply is called Murov's doctrine, where there's no proof of any of this. But because I've got more than one testimony, it must be true. Now let's go back to why that is a lie. Remember, for years, since 2006, since the inception of the 2006 Family Law Scotland Act, I am telling this public, you have to break the statutory laws enshrined in the Scottish Parliament to have got that act on the statute. Now, how do you prove that? There is nobody, and I'll challenge any lawyer now, come on to Facebook and state that you can provide a peer-reviewable paper stating why the 2006 Family Law Scotland Act is compliant with convention rights and community law in respect of the human rights of children conceived outside marriage and their male parents. If, as the Act does, discriminates against those children and those parents on the basis of that parent having a penis instead of a vagina. That is what it's based on. People say, no, it's about your marital status. The mechanics of law are quite succinct. If it was truly about your marriage, then women and men outside marriage who have conceived a child would have to apply for court. They don't. Men have to. It is, therefore, by definition, by the operational law, a gender-specific discrimination. That is not compliant with convention rights and community law. So any lawyer out there, bring it on. I'll take on law professors on this. I put a petition in Parliament. That petition decided that compliance was shown, but there's no evidence of it. So now the Public Petitions Committee lied. We have all these lies going on, ladies and gentlemen, and child abuse continues. My daughter is 15, says she doesn't want to see her daddy. Why is she saying that? People are telling her horrible lies. And all she's going to have to see of me is what I put on Facebook. It's a disgrace. Her mother lied, the judiciary lied. Now we have Sheriff Vincent Smith saying it was a complex case. He lied. How did he lie? He lied about it being complex. He lied that he knew the case by saying it was complex. The only thing that made it complex was the abandonment of the judiciary to take the appropriate action for a child who was being neglected of her family life by her mother in respect of her family on her father's side. That is child neglect. That is a form of child abuse. And the child abuse was perpetrated by the courts. Then we have the courts writing during the 2005-2006 consultation to the legislator, the Scottish Parliament, telling us, and I have this letter and I will show it in another post, where they say unmarried fathers pose a threat to the children of unmarried mothers. How dare they? That is an offence. That is trolling. That is against offensive language under the Communications Act. And they would say, well, we are the legislator. Well then, if you're the legislator and you can say that, I have the right to exempt you from being treated the same as a public person, as a private person. When I come to you as a meeting, when you're paid to listen to my grievance and I tell you my opinion. So, what was I found guilty on? Now going back to Inspector Jennings. Inspector Jennings is going to say today, you provide me no proof. What am I going to say, Inspector Jennings? Well then, Inspector Jennings, this is a litmus test of how you have found me guilty, and referred me to the Procurator Fiscal, who is going to have to answer for a lot of failures in this case. Ultimately, they lied, and I am filing these perjury charges. Then we have the police officer, who would have had to have taken an incident from Miss McKerrow, MSP from the SNP, another female chauvinist, another perjurer, who said on record in court that she contacted the police unit at the Scottish Parliament after meeting me while she was out canvassing. That doesn't exist. There again is a proof of a lie. So I'm going today, Inspector Jennings is going to say she couldn't find these officers. She couldn't find officers that are in her employ. She couldn't find officers who were there on the day. Doesn't matter what she says. The fact that they have not got any notes in their book means these people lied. They lied and changed their story later on. So, we have a case based on Moorhouse Doctrine, which requires no evidence other than the corroboration of statements. And they're applying a case where a man was molesting women after women after women. Some of the charges he admitted to, I deny. All charges against me. And when I was interviewed before this was referred to the Procurator Fiscal, I said no comment. And I explained to the two CID officers, one DCI sword, that, do you want me to explain to you why even innocent people should remain silent under such circumstances? And he said, and I quote, no, I can appreciate that. So what's exactly going on here? I'll tell you what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to expose criminal malfeasance in the Scottish Parliament, in the Scottish Government, and they have sent every agency to malign me. And by doing so, they have committed more criminal acts. And hopefully with your support, we will prove this. In this small, which might seem a personal battle, doesn't matter to me. I'll go to jail for 10 years for yous. I will go to jail for 20 years. So that our children start to grow up in a country that's not run by gangsters, criminals and embezzlers. That's who they are. They're rent seekers, embezzlers and false speakers. They tell lies every day and they do everything to suppress the forensically credible evidence of their lies. So I'm going here now and I will post this and I will post the meeting because I have told Inspector Jennings from the 101 service, which was logged last night, that I will be there with this recording device. She will be on the record. This is my lawyer. You're my lawyer. We know the truth. They know the truth. That's how they're behaving so mysteriously and suspicious. A senior officer can't find the 6 police officers. The police unit at the Scottish Parliament has no record. And then we have Miss Aitken, who's now a councillor in Glasgow City Council, a barefaced liar. Perjury for you as well, my dear, because you lied and no one provided any corroboration. You have phone systems not retrieved. You have voicemails which are retrievable. We have the statements from the telecommunications expert that I asked the question, do these voicemails go into a telephonic abyss after 3 days. No, they're held on a server by the company that provides us the service. Ah, I should have had that judge stop this case. So finally, Sheriff Vincent Smith is in on this mother of all stitch-ups. This is what they do, ladies and gentlemen. And please remember everything else. I'm the father of a child, an innocent man trying to see his child, and they have abused her. And now that I am standing up to them, they're coming and abuse me. That's your government. That's not a government. That is a criminal cabal.